We are absolutely determined to make this our most ambitious Jurassic game yet. We are not going to change as much of this game as we did in Planet Coaster.
Yesterday, Frontier released their January financial report, and in it they described the third upcoming Jurassic World game as their most ambitious game yet. As tiny of a crumb as that was, I did share it with you guys in a video because even though it's very vague, it's something to get a bit of excitement going in this total absence of news for Jurassic World Evolution 3 and Jurassic World Rebirth. However, Frontier also published a live stream they held for their investors, hosted by the company's CEO himself, and in this live stream, they made a statement that gets me more concerned than excited. As I played at the start of this video, they said that they will not change Jurassic World Evolution 3 as much compared to Jurassic World Evolution 2 as they did with Planet Coaster 2 compared to Planet Coaster 1. Not changing much sounds like the opposite of ambitious. So let's talk about it. First and foremost, stating the obvious, this is a live stream for investors. It's meant to put investors at ease. It's not aimed at exciting the player base. All of this is still very, very open to interpretation. We're just talking about it because I'm still obsessed with this gaming franchise. Please send help. Planet Coaster 2 did not launch with overwhelming success. I don't personally play the game, nor have I played the first game, so I cannot speak from personal experience. But I've watched some content surrounding the launch and the controversy of the first DLC, and the perception I'm getting is that the community is pretty disappointed, which is putting it mildly. Not to say everyone is disappointed, but it seems to ring true for the majority that the best they can currently say about it is that it has potential. The game is often said to be incredibly buggy, poorly designed in terms of quality of life when looking at the UI and its features. It's lacking content, with way fewer building themes and thus fewer pieces than the original game, even lacking attractions that were in the original game, and, perhaps most notably, the new feature of water flumes leaves to be desired. When a player base is frustrated, investors get nervous, because they see DLC sales down the line go up in smoke before their eyes. So again, this livestream is very much about reassuring investors that Jurassic World Evolution 3 will not slide into the same hot water. See what I did there? Subscribe for more dad humor. Oh, and to stay up to date on the news and stuff like that. Anyway, to Frontier's credit, they have not ignored the outcry in response to Planet Coaster 2. Yes, I am still talking about Planet Coaster 2, bear with me. They have recognized that the DLC was a faux pas given the state of the game and have expressed commitment to sorting out the base game through free updates as a first priority, pushing back further paid content. They even went so far as to post a roadmap, which gives me a lot of hope that we might see this level of communication for the upcoming Jurassic game as well. After all, in that same livestream, they also said,
learning from Planet Coaster, we are going to engage even more with the community, sort of more communication.
The launch of Planet Coaster 2 will have definitely been a wake-up call for them, that they can't get away with launching a game in a disappointing state and then expect a DLC to sell like hotcakes. Hopefully they learned a lesson they will take to heart for Jurassic World Evolution 3. But are they learning the wrong lesson? Watts, the CEO, said that Jurassic World Evolution 3 will not be as big of a change as Planet Coaster 2 was compared to their respective predecessors. Again, their trepidation after the poor launch is understandable, but I don't think playing it safe is necessarily the right way to go, because it's not so much that Planet Coaster 2 was too big of a change, it's that in too many ways it was a change for the worse. But in the eyes of Frontier, Planet Coaster 2 was a big change from Planet Coaster 1, and Jurassic World Evolution 3 will not follow that example, according to this statement. I think it's debatable whether Planet Coaster 2 was all that different from the first game. Although again, as someone lacking personal experience with the games, I can't make a definitive judgment on that. On a superficial level, Planet Coaster 2 seems very much of the same, just with flumes and without many attractions and building pieces from the first game, which are presumably getting added down the line either for free or in DLC. Editing Evo here. Maybe not as much of a change means no cut content, like what Planet Coaster 2 suffered from. But some of the feedback I've seen from players is that there is a big difference between the games, but more in the gaming experience, describing it as having been redesigned from the ground up, like Frontier reinvented the wheel for reinvention's sake, when nobody asked to have it reinvented. Whether Planet Coaster 2 is or isn't a major change, I'm not an authority on, but for the sake of this video, let's go with Frontier's own logic and say that it is. What does that mean for Jurassic World Evolution 3, which will not be changed as much compared to its predecessor? Not changing much is literally the opposite of being the most ambitious, so I don't know what to think of that. I don't know what to do with that. I should just reiterate that this is all so vague, there's no reason to panic, and we'll just have to wait and see. But in the meantime, with nothing else to keep us occupied, it's interesting to speculate. And I thought it was important to make this video for balance. I shared it yesterday that they described their next game as the most ambitious. If they're gonna say kinda the opposite the exact same day, just a little later, then I should make sure you guys know about that as well and everyone can draw their own conclusions. But better still, let's not draw any conclusions yet and just wait for the announcement and the dev diaries and the species profiles and all that stuff, which I will keep you up to date on, and hopefully the future will hold good news. But for now, let's spitball. A common critique of Jurassic World Evolution 2 was that it wasn't different enough from the first game. So to hear that the third game is apparently, again, not going to change all that much is a bit concerning. For some, more so than for others. While I'm personally happy with how Jurassic World Evolution 2 improved on the first game, especially after all of the free updates that made it even better, I understand why others weren't impressed or satisfied, and a recurring comment I've seen about the third game is that people think it really needs to be different this time around to make it worth buying a third game. And that's valid. In many ways, to many people, myself included, Jurassic World Evolution 2 felt like what Jurassic World Evolution 1 was always supposed to be. Is Jurassic World Evolution 3 now just going to be what Jurassic World Evolution 2 was always supposed to be? That's gonna rub a lot of people the wrong way, and rightfully so. Side note, while I understand the criticism levied towards Jurassic World Evolution 2 and think that most of them are fair and even agree with a lot of them, I've never felt that strongly about the disappointments myself. I loved the first game, I love the second game 10 times more. So I've been happy, but I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to my autism hyperfixation game, which this is. I understand that can't be generalized to an entire player base. I've always openly shared my criticisms of the game and have brainstormed many improvements I wish to see, and will do so for the next game as well. I understand the anger some people feel towards the lacking features of the current game and Frontier's missteps with Planet Coaster 2. I just don't share the anger, because in spite of everything, perhaps in spite of my better judgment, I still love this game that I've devoted my life to. So please don't get angry with me for not being angry, and understand that we just perceive things differently. Only challenge mode makes me angry. Challenge mode. I've seen a lot of people say that they'll only buy the third game if it finally brings Frontier's characteristic gaming feature, modular building, into the game. But if Jurassic World Evolution 3 isn't going to change all that much in comparison to the current iteration, I think the addition of modular building is more unlikely than it has ever been. Modular building would be a massive change. Although I've always considered the odds for modular building slim, it has been a concern of mine because I personally don't want it. So I am relieved to hear news that slashes those odds even more, but I understand that for some, this will be the first major disappointment. My initial gut reaction to the sound clip was disappointment as well. This video is later than I wanted because I had to sit with the news for a little bit, let it stew, and figure out what I actually think about it and what I think it could mean. Although the video is also late because there's massive construction work going on in my street and I'm going crazy, but that's not the point. Or maybe it is. Maybe I have gone crazy. Because after sitting with it for a bit, I don't think this is the doomsday blow that it felt like. For me at least, and maybe for you too. As I've been saying, and as might be obvious from my channel, I love Jurassic World Evolution 2. So I don't want a sequel to be entirely different, like modular building as I said, or way more in-depth management comparable to the Planet series. And I don't want them to reinvent the UI from scratch. We know from a past investor livestream that Frontier is planning 2 brand new features for the game, which have been highly requested by the community. They've said so themselves. And I've hypothesized that the likely possibilities are baby dinosaurs, Cenozoics, and or semi-aquatics. Those are 3 of the most requested things. And while baby dinosaurs would be a ton of work for Frontier, none of these 3 options are massive changes. They're just extra animals. These much requested features are not off the table yet. To name a couple more examples, a river cruise, not a big change. More decorations, not a big change. More fence types, not a big change. Skin previews in the hatchery, not a big change. At least, not in my opinion. Some things I consider to be in the danger zone are the removal of hitboxes, a change to how we build lagoons and aviaries, a new pathing tool that allows for bridges, and better terrain tools. Unfortunately, those are basically my biggest personal wants, so I will be biting my nails until we know more. But these 2, I don't think are ruled out yet. Nothing is ruled out yet. Frontier said in the same investor livestream that they are looking at our requests. They know what we want, and they know from Planet Coaster 2 that they have to deliver if they want that sweet, sweet DLC revenue. So let's keep making sure that they know what we want and share it in a comment down below. What do you want to see for Jurassic World Evolution 3? You guys know me, I will always be cautiously optimistic until proven otherwise. And while this statement is a bit of a red flag, not denying that, it's not proving otherwise. They literally said within a 1-minute clip that it would be their most ambitious game and that it's not going to change much. So if anything, I feel like the 2 cancel each other out and we're back to square one. Evolution square one. Again, subscribe for the dad humor. So just to recap an admittedly very meandering video, even if we take their statement at face value, which I don't think we should given they basically contradict themselves and the stream wasn't meant for us anyway, but if we take it at face value, maybe not changing as much as Planet Coaster 2 isn't all bad news. Because as far as I can see, the big change of Planet Coaster 2 is the amount of cut content and the frustrations people experience with the redesigned UI. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time. Let's hope we get some actual news soon, Frontier. That would be nice. Just some actual news. That'd be cool. Universal, if you're listening, you too. Come on.